The Saxon Wolf by Angus Donald. Fireborn, Book 2. Narrated by Ade Dimberline. Part 1. Spring 773. Prologue. Blackness rising. The shield maiden stood perfectly still in the line of warriors, a warm trickle of shame running down the inside of her leg. This was not her first battle by any means, nor was she the only fighter to have released her bladder in fear that day. But she was surprised at herself, revolted by her lack of control. Around her stood several of her comrades, folk of the north, all well armed and armoured, and their commander, a Danish jarl, who stood to her left and a little behind the line of shields. The shield maiden hoped no one in that press of humanity would recognise her abject terror. She had a reputation for fearlessness that she cherished. Her features might be pretty, her body might be slender and short, her limbs wiry rather than powerful, but she could fight. And until this day, she had truly believed that she was dauntless. Evidently not. The fear roiled in her guts like a poisonous eel, icy and ever-moving. Her leather trews were soaked through now with her own sweat and wastes. And were it not for the crush of warriors about her, she would have been tempted to run as fast as she could from this horror-filled gore patch, to preserve her frail young life from certain destruction. In the air directly above her, a lone red kite circled the battlefield, waiting for its reward, and away to her left, impatient crows hopped and squabbled among the fallen. The bully sun beat down, a great molten disk of metal in the perfect blue sky. She stood in the second line, just below the crest of the small ridge. She and her comrades had not yet engaged in this life and death struggle. But it must be soon. The waves of battle must crash over her very soon. She could hear the sounds of slaughter, the rip and wrench of human flesh, the constant screaming, the shouts of rage and joy. The raw reek of shit and blood coated her tongue. The din of steel smashed against steel relentlessly, the rattle and slap, clash and clatter of blades, pounding tattered mail and battered shields. And nearby, a young man crying out softly for his mother. Her body was shaking, despite the heat of the day. Stop, she ordered herself. Stop this. She bit a fold of her lower lip until the blood ran coppery sweet, but her hands still trembled. She knew she would vomit again soon. Abruptly, the front rank of her comrades was swept away. The thin line of warriors hurled this way and that, shot down with evil, hissing arrows, or battered into bloody ruin by the whirling enemy blades.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?